Dools!
Has.
Chloe Zhao's new film Nomadland has officially hit cinemas and it is the favourite for Best Picture. We saw it, we're reviewing it, but Dools, just roll the intro! What's shaking, bacon? Welcome to another episode of the More Cops on Duty podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Harry. With me, of course, is the Oscar to my Frances McDormand. Edward Dools. Dools. Like that one? You like that one?
I do. It's apt. It's very apt.
It's good, isn't it?
I'm good, Has. I'm good. How are you?
Mate, I'm very well. We're crisp off a good old New Year's break. This is actually... We're recording episodes back to back, but they're going to be swapped in how they're released, so we'll talk about what we've been up to in the next episode that we record later this afternoon. But Dools, we're here because this is going to be the supplementary episode for this week. Of course, from More Cops on Duty, Internet's #1 film, game, TV podcast. Catch us on all your favourite streaming services and catch us on all your favourite socials. We are starting to post, right, Dools?
Oh, we're starting.
Oh yeah, the train's on the tracks, you know.
And by starting, I mean like we're starting, so like it hasn't started. It's starting.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's starting.
Yeah. There's no release date. It's like
no.
It's like No Time to Die. Like they keep saying it's coming out. Will it? We'll never know.
It's like will Cyberpunk ever be finished? Will it ever be a finished product? Who knows? Hey, who knows?
But Dools, we come together 2 times a week. And the second episode's always a supplemental podcast, you know, the More Cops Plus. And it's more of a discussion, more in-review sort of show. And we want to start off this year. We saw Nomadland coming from Chloe Zhao. It is the favourite for Best Picture, stars Frances McDormand. If you haven't seen this film, this will be a shorter podcast, of course, because we're just reviewing one film. If you haven't seen it, I think we can both agree, Dools, like, just off the cuff, 100% go see it and then listen to what we're saying.
This is worth venturing out to your local cinema for. I mean, yeah, yes. I very much agree with the notion that it's the favourite for Best Picture. I mean, I felt like I watched the Best Picture winner. And, I mean, I don't know if it is on streaming services. I don't think it is yet. But, I mean, look, get the mask on, get out there. Get to the
Support your local cinema. By the way, if you can hear a truck, there is a garbage truck going past my house right now. So
I can't. Apologies. So I think we should be all right. Look, we'll get into it, but it is an exceptional film, and I highly recommend you go see it.
Absolutely. I think that we should go into the story a little bit. So that's what I wanted to preface this episode.
Well, isn't that the point?
Yeah, but I'm fucking getting there, Dools. You're nipping at the bud. You're nipping it. But I just want to say, if you haven't seen it, that's all you need to know. It's absolutely worth your money. Go out and watch it. It's a phenomenal film, and it should very much be the favourite for Best Picture. Is it my Best Picture? Is it Dools' Best Picture? We'll find out at the end of the episode. But absolutely go watch it. Absolutely worth every cent of your money. Support your local cinemas, and come back and listen to our review. But until then, Dools, let's get into it. On a cuff, we both said we loved it. Did you go into this movie knowing that you were going to love it as much as you did?
Not at all. I had no expectations, largely because I didn't know a ton about the film. All I did know was that Chloe... I actually am not familiar with what Chloe Zhao has done in the past, only that she's been tapped for... has directed now, the Eternals for Marvel. So obviously Marvel saw something in her, and Jesus, they, picked a good one. But I also, knew Frances McDormand was the leading lady, and that was about it. And maybe that, it struck me as a pretty, I don't know, it just struck me as a drama, and that was about all I knew.
Well, when you see an indie film starring Frances McDormand, she's very picky with how she chooses roles, so you know it's going to be good. Just to give you a little bit of context, Dools, Chloe Zhao also directed a film called The Rider. I haven't seen it. Apparently it's on Netflix, and guess what the Rotten Tomatoes score is?
I mean, knowing this woman's track record now, high 90s.
97. So I'm like,
there you go.
I know what I'm doing this weekend. I'm going to watch The Rider, because I absolutely agree with you. I went in this movie thinking it's going to be like an 8.5, like a really well done indie film. I came out of it, I was like, that was incredible cinematography. This fucking truck outside my house, I'm so sorry. The incredible cinematography.
That I did hear.
Yeah. Incredible cinematography, acting on point, direction incredible, beautifully written. Like, this movie is exceptional. I really, really think that it's one of the best of the... I would count this as a 2020 film. We both agree that...
Yeah, I think we do if we're going off the fact that it's a contender for the Oscars 2020.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Which, by the way, I have not... I mean, we can talk about this in the next episode maybe, but I have not heard a single thing about what's happening with the Oscars this year. I mean, they're obviously still happening then if betting markets
they got to. It'll be like all online. Probably won't... It'll probably be like a Nintendo Direct sort of style.
Okay, so isn't it funny how last year Steven Spielberg and some other directors were making a big fuss about Netflix movies being in contention for Best Picture and things like that. I think like Roma and Irishman or whatever, and now it's like, well, they're going to dominate. Now. Yeah. It's very ironic.
There's one Netflix film that I think is my best picture still.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we'll get to that at the end. But this is still fucking up there. To put a little bit of story behind Nomadland. Nomadland is a story about a woman embarks on a journey through the American West after losing everything during the recession. This isn't what I really like about this film. Just to first point of this film, it's not a 3-act story. It's not like this is establishing the character. She has a massive problem. Here's a resolution. It's literally dropping you in a time of her life, and that's it. That's
what I felt. A movie we saw earlier in the year, Kajillionaire, did well also.
Yeah.
You said it. You dropped into this moment in this person's life. It's just a blip in their life, and you just happen to witness this one moment. And there is no beginning, middle, or end. It's a very unique kind of way to tell a story.
Oh, this fucking truck! I am so sorry. It's like we're trying to do a thought.
It's not as bad as you think. It's not as bad as you think.
All right, it must just be me. It might not be picking up as much. So I never knew this story. This is a true story, but I've never known about I knew the recession was huge and everything. Of course, everyone knows that. But the fact that there was a town in the US called Empire that was literally went bankrupt as a town, and to a point where the postcode got discontinued. There it is. Everyone heard that.
Oh, that one I heard.
Yeah, everyone. He's waited until the 20 minutes that we're recording a podcast to be like, I'm going to hit the glass bins today. No worries. He's supposed to come at 11. That's right. Dools, we got to get into it straight up. The performance of Frances McDormand. She's labelled as the favourite to win Best Actress by a number of different media providers. What did you think? Do you agree with it?
You know what, Has? I do.
Hot take. Here he is.
I feel like I did watch a Best Actress performance in that film. Frances, who I don't think is a stranger to these kind of independent films, clearly, sniffs out a good script and then gives it her all. And we saw that more recently in, and she might have done some other things since, but I think the most notable one is 3 Billboards Outside
Ebbing, Missouri.
Ebbing, Missouri. So, yeah, she's no stranger to these kinds of films. I think this was a little more low budget, Nomadland. But, and to learn that she was bouncing off and performing against real people. So real nomads that Chloe Zhao and her crew found on the road and incorporated into the film, which gives it this ultra realistic kind of feel, and that's why some of the performances, if you can even call it that, just feel so real and so raw and emotional, and she seamlessly slots herself into that community and can talk with these people as if she's one of them. And I mean, that's just full blown method. I mean, it's pretty awesome. So what do you think, Has?
I agree. I think that she completely encapsulated that character of Vern. It made it feel super real, if that makes sense. I know that's really corny to say and really cheesy, but it's true. She made it feel extraordinarily real. And massive shout out to Chloe Zhao for completely trusting all the nomads. Like, as you were saying, Dools, we're waiting till the credits, but some of these just seem so real. This doesn't seem like acting at all. And every single name except for 2 were nomads, which was insane.
It's extraordinary.
To say.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
I think it's very much easy to put money on Frances McDormand to win, which is fucking awesome to say. But I was going to pull up, there's a predictions folder that I've got of from Variety. Sorry, a predictions article, more like it, of who to win. But can you think of any others that you've seen this year or last year even?
I mean, Leading Ladies, who really stole the show. I mean, it's just been such a weird year, and
There's been nothing coming out.
So much as well, yeah. It's that, and I mean, I'm sure a lot of indie films did shine. I wouldn't be shocked. I don't think she gave a better performance, but I wouldn't be shocked, Harry, if Evan Rachel Wood was actually nominated, because I thought she gave a really interesting performance in Kajillionaire. But other than that, I can't really think of anything. And mind you, there are still a fair few films we have not seen, or I have not seen at least. So, look, there could be a dark horse in there somewhere that we're not yet familiar with. But right now, I think her performance was on par with hers in Three Billboards, and she won that Oscar handily. So, I'd put money on it.
I think that's very, very fair enough. I'm reading from a Variety article, which is their predicted nominees for Best Actress. Number 1 is Vanessa Kirby from Pieces of a Woman, which is on Netflix. Number 2, of course, Frances McDormand, Nomadland. Number 3, which we're seeing this week, Carey Mulligan from Promising Young Woman.
Okay, there you go.
Which is awesome. The truck's back, Dools. It's done its loop. It's done its loop with the neighborhood, and it's done the other side of the road right now. Number 4, we got Viola Davis from Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Which is on Netflix.
I think Regina King directed that. It's meant to be excellent.
Oh, really?
No, wait.
No, it was directed by George C. Wolfe.
No,
I think I know the one that you
think. Like a period piece. Sorry, derailing this.
No, it's all good.
Going.
And number 5, Andra Day from the United States versus Billie Holiday, which is on Hulu apparently. Don't know where that's on in Australia. But next in line, Dools, we've got Meryl Streep from The Prom on Netflix. We'll see. But it's Streep, dude. She'll fucking get nominated. Michelle Pfeiffer from French Exit. That looks good. I saw the trailer for that. That looks really good. I want to see that.
French... What's the name?
Exit. Like enter.
Okay. I'm just thinking as well... just on that film that I thought was Regina King's for a second. What's it called? Ma Rainey's Black Bottom? Was that... So that apparently I've read has just an incredible like magnum opus kind of like career defining performance from Chadwick Boseman is what I've read, and that he will likely be a best actor favorite. So definitely.
Well, guess what the Rotten Tomatoes is. Guess what the Rotten Tomatoes is. 98? Incorrect. 99.
Fuck.
Sorry, Dools. Sorry, I can't give it to you. I wish I could. I really. I wish I could.
Want you to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's pretty good.
But yeah, to continue on your point, Dools, the fact that she included new or real nomads for this film, the like new actresses, new actors for nomads. I thought it just added to the film so much, and there's talks now. I've seen a couple of articles that the actress, it's hard to say she's an actress because it's her life. Swanky might actually get a nomination for Best Supporting because that monologue that she does, in the middle of the film, deserves the nomination. It's exceptional.
That was the moment when I was like, this almost doesn't feel scripted. This feels real, and that this person, like, it was such a detailed kind of like, it felt like they were drawing from a real memory, and of course that's possible for an actor to do, but I don't know, there was something about it. Like, I was like, wow, like I've never seen or heard of this actress before in my life, and they're giving this incredibly powerful monologue. And I'm like, wow, like, what's the catch here? And yeah, our suspicions were correct in the end that a lot of these people were just, real people in this community, in this nomad community. And I thought that was astonishing. I was like, holy moly. I mean, what else should we touch on in the film has? Maybe her relationship, just her kind of journeys that we see.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved how it kept unfolding about like her life before it. Because you slowly start to see this relationships, starting off with the guy, the actor of David Stratham, who's been in heaps, by the way. I just didn't recognize him. He's been in like Fracture. He was in like the Bourne movies. He was in Good Night and Good Luck.
That's where I recognize him from. He was like one of the villains in Bourne. He was one of the
exactly.
I think
and from LA Confidential. I was watching Fracture the other night with my roommate, and I was just like, holy shit, that's the guy from Nomadland. Where that starts to pick up, and like you could see he's the nicest guy ever. He's like such a sweet guy, and he actually truly loves Fern. And he says the line that like kind of broke my heart because of what she just leaves where he's just like, I enjoy my life when you're around here. And you're like, this guy just wants the best for her and knows that his life is better when she's with him. But then you start to realize, well, of course, this is a spoiler cast, of course, so that she leaves, and you realize why is because like she's already had a family, you know, she'll never take off her wedding ring.
Yeah,
she's
already closed the chapter of that kind of part of her life, so. It would just be too hard for her to... I just don't think, some people just can't... They don't want to put themselves through any potential loss and grief and pain again, which is understandable. I think that's kind of what it's all about, which is that, she's not necessarily escaping, although she is. I mean, like, when her sister kind of... It sounds like this is a conversation they've had many times in the past where she's like, look, like, you are welcome here. Like, we've got the guest room set up at all times. You are more than welcome to stay here. Like, I just don't want you, driving around that thing all the time. It's just on your own. And she's like, well, I just can't be under a roof again. I can't. She like normality is probably she just associates it with her husband, and her husband's death. Obviously, it just caused her a lot of pain and grief, and so it is her escape. But at the same time, like she's more than content with it. Like
exactly.
And, yeah, it's just it's very sad, but at the same time it's like, well, no, I think she genuinely wants this.
Yeah.
And maybe she wishes she could want the other thing, but she just doesn't, and that's just how it is, but yeah.
It's just exactly that's how I saw the end of the film of her just driving away and just continuing her life. I'm like, it's just how it is.
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra said it best, Dools. That's life. It's pretty poetic.
That is life.
But Dools, to end this, I think we both agree that it should be nominated for Best Picture. Is it your Best Picture?
I think it's
a tough question, isn't it?
I think it is. I think I know what yours is, or at least your very close second is. But yeah, for me, right now, and look, if we include Minari whenever we get to see that, and Promising Young Woman, and a film we actually saw last night, then right now, I think it is. Yep.
That's very fair enough. Mine is still Trials of the Chicago 7. Aaron Sorkin directed and wrote it. It's stunning, that film. 100% go see it. It's on Netflix. It's phenomenal. It's so good, and it's packed with performances. But that is not taking anything away from this film. This film is amazing. It's exceptional. It's beautiful. It's brilliant. And Frances McDormand deserves another statue for it, I believe. With that being said, I haven't seen any of the other predicted nominees. We're going to go see Promising Young Woman this week, so we'll be able to, compare that. We'll probably do a review for it in the next week or so. But Dools, until then, I think that we've cleared this up. We go see this film, go support your local cinemas, wear a mask, and absolutely go see Nomadland. Is it a happy film? Will you leave? With happiness on your mind? No.
Oh yeah, look, full disclosure, this is not necessarily an enjoyable film. You might feel like it's a little bit of a downer, but it's a pretty raw and real and honest look at life, especially for these people. But I don't know, there's a lot of there is a silver lining there. I think like actually these people kind of enjoy this life, and they're not necessarily forced into it. It's but yeah, I don't know. I think everyone will have their own interpretation, but yeah, it's not a happy-go-lucky is all I'll say.
I agree. I think it's awesome. Well done, Chloe Zhao. Well done, Frances McDormand. I cannot wait for the Eternals now. You said something to me after the movie, which I'm like, you're kind of right. You're like, I think she's wasted on Marvel, which I get. I get it. Like, look, Marvel's Marvel.
Look, we both love Marvel, but at the same time, it's like, oh man, like what else could she have been doing with her time?
Exactly,
instead of another superhero film. But I am interested. I am keen to see what she does.
Do you reckon we're going to get a Nomadland sequel? Nomadland 2, Electric Boogaloo?
maybe Frances McDormand, you know, she's being set up as a new villain or something. I mean, who knows? I mean, in the cinematic universe, I mean, who can really know?
Absolutely. Dools, close us off.
Thanks for your company, mate. This has been another episode of the More Cops and Duty podcast. This was one of your in review episodes. The film is Nomadland. Thanks for joining, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Bye.